In the heart of a crumbling small-town diner in rural Ohio, where the coffee tastes like regret and the jukebox hasn't played a happy tune since the Reagan era, sits Jake Harlan, a battle-hardened Marine veteran with scars that run deeper than the ones on his skin, staring at a faded photograph of his little girl who vanished 10 years ago today, whispering to himself, "If she's out there, God, just give me one sign." Little does he know, the stranger about to walk through that door will shatter his world forever and make every soul in America reach for the tissues. If this gut-wrenching tale of lost love and unbreakable bonds has you hooked already, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications so you never miss a story that hits straight to the heart. Let's dive in. Jake Harlan had always been the rock of Willow Creek, Ohio, a speck on the map where cornfields stretched endless and secrets buried deep. At 45, with salt and pepper hair cropped short from his military days and eyes that had seen too much sand and bloodshed in Iraq, he ran the local auto shop, fixing trucks for farmers who paid in IOUs and stories of better days. But every November 3rd, the anniversary of his daughter Emily's disappearance, Jake closed up early and headed to Millie's Diner, the one place that hadn't changed since she was 6. He'd order black coffee and pie he never ate, laying out that crumpled photo on the table like a ritual. Emily, with her gap-toothed grin and pigtails, beaming next to him at the county fair. She was taken from their backyard during a barbecue, snatched in broad daylight while neighbors grilled burgers. No ransom, no body, just gone. The police called it a cold case after 2 years. Jake called it his living hell. That rainy afternoon in 2025, the diner was empty except for old Millie behind the counter, wiping the same spot for the 100th time. The bell jingled, and in walked a woman bundled in a soaked trench coat, hood pulled low. She slid into the booth across from Jake without asking, her hands trembling as she pulled out a small, worn teddy bear, the one Emily had clutched that fateful day. Jake's heart stopped. "Where did you get that?" he growled, his voice rough like gravel. The woman looked up, and that's when he saw her eyes, blue like Emily's, but older, weary. "Dad," she whispered, "it's me." The world tilted. Jake blinked, convinced the ghosts of his PTSD were playing tricks. But no, this was real. Sarah, no, Emily, now 16, with dyed black hair and a scar on her cheek from God knows what. She explained in a rush how she'd been taken by a couple desperate for a child, raised in hiding across state lines, brainwashed into believing her real family had abandoned her. She'd escaped 2 weeks ago after finding old news clippings in their attic, piecing together the truth. She hitchhiked back, terrified her kidnappers were on her trail. Jake reached out, touching her hand, tears streaming unchecked. For the first time in a decade, he cried, not the silent sobs of a broken man, but the raw, heaving kind that comes from a dam finally bursting. Word spread like wildfire through Willow Creek. Neighbors poured into the diner, hugging Emily, calling her the miracle girl. The local news picked it up, and soon national outlets were camped outside Jake's shop. Reunited at last, father and daughter clung to each other, vowing never to let go again. Jake quit drinking the hidden flasks in his toolbox, started attending church with Emily, even smiled at the thought of Thanksgiving with a full table. Emily enrolled in high school, made friends, and for a while, it seemed like the fairy tale ending America loves, proof that hope wins. But twists come when you least expect them, and this story was far from over. 3 months later, as snow blanketed Ohio, Emily started having nightmares, screaming about a basement with chains. Jake brushed it off as trauma, got her therapy. Then came the anonymous letters, slipped under the door of the auto shop. "She's not who you think. Ask her about the fire." Jake confronted Emily gently one night over cocoa. She broke down, confessing fragments. The couple who took her weren't strangers, they were distant relatives, aunt and uncle by marriage, driven mad by infertility after losing their own child. They'd staged the abduction to save her from Jake, whom they blamed for his wife's death in a car crash years prior, saying he was unfit, reckless. Jake was floored. His late wife, Lisa, had died when Emily was 2, a drunk driver, not his fault. But the relatives twisted it, fed Emily lies. Worse, Emily admitted in therapy sessions leaked somehow to the press that she'd started the fire in their house as a teen, accidentally killing the woman, her mom, and fleeing in guilt. The man, her dad, was in prison now for the original kidnapping, but he'd been coaching her from behind bars to return, to manipulate Jake for money, inheritance from Lisa's life insurance Jake never touched. The revelation hit like a bomb. National headlines screamed, "Miracle Reunion a hoax." Jake felt betrayed, yet his love didn't waver. He hired lawyers, fought custody battles as the relatives, family sued for Emily's return, claiming she was brainwashed back. Emily, torn between 2 worlds, ran away one night, leaving a note, "I don't know who I am anymore." Jake searched frantically, driving through blizzards, posting on social media that went viral. Millions followed #FindEmilyAgain, sharing stories of their own lost loved ones. In a dramatic twist, Emily was found in a motel in Kentucky, not running from Jake, but to protect him. She discovered recordings on the kidnapper's old phone, proving he planned to kill Jake for the insurance, framing it as suicide. Emily had come back initially to warn him, but fell into the comfort of real family, suppressing the truth until it boiled over. The fire. Self-defense, the woman had tried to lock her in during an argument. Evidence poured in, exonerating Emily, nailing the surviving relatives for conspiracy. But the deepest cut came next. During the trial, broadcast live, a DNA test requested by the defense revealed something unthinkable. Emily wasn't Jake's biological daughter. Lisa had an affair during Jake's deployment, a one-night mistake with a fellow soldier. Jake had raised her as his own, loved her fiercely. The courtroom gasped. Emily sobbed, thinking he'd reject her. Jake stood, crossed the room, and hugged her tight. "You're my girl, blood or not. Always will be." America watched, transfixed. Donations flooded in for their legal fees. Strangers sent cards, teddy bears, messages of faith restored. Jake and Emily emerged stronger, starting a foundation for abducted children, traveling the country speaking at schools. Emily graduated high school, pursued psychology to help others heal. Jake sold the shop, bought a farm, where they planted apple trees, one for every year lost. Years passed, but the bond only grew. On the 20th anniversary, now in 2035, Jake, gray and content, sat with Emily, now a mother herself, watching her kids play in the yard. She turned to him, eyes misty. "Dad, do you regret any of it?" He smiled, pulling out that old photo, now framed. "Not a second. You came back to me twice. That's more than most get." Their story became legend, a testament to love's twists, forgiveness amid betrayal, and the human spirit's resilience. Families reunited because of their foundation. Veterans found purpose sharing Jake's journey. And every time someone asked how they survived the lies, the runs, the revelations, Jake would say, because family isn't just blood. It's the choice to hold on when everything says let go. Yet, in a final, heart-wrenching turn, as Emily's own daughter turned 6, the age of the abduction, a letter arrived from the prison. The kidnapper, dying of cancer, confessed on video. He'd switched babies at the hospital years before Lisa's affair, taking the real Harlan child and leaving Emily, a changeling in the crib. Tests confirmed it. Emily was never Lisa's either. Adopted unknowingly by the relatives first, then placed with Jake. The real Emily Harlan died in infancy, buried under a wrong name. The news could have destroyed them. Instead, Jake and Emily laughed through tears. "See, we're chosen family, through and through." They buried the past, literally, visiting the tiny grave, laying flowers. America wept collectively, talk shows dedicated episodes, songs written about the couple who turned tragedy into triumph multiple times over. Today, Jake and Emily live on that farm, surrounded by grandkids who call him Pop and her mom. They host barbecues, tell stories under stars, reminding everyone that life throws curveballs, betrayals, miracles in disguise, but love, raw and real, conquers all. And that's the story of Jake and Emily Harlan, a rollercoaster that proves no matter how many twists fate deals, the human heart finds its way home. Phew, if you're tearing up right now, you're not alone, everyone does by the end. This tale of redemption and unbreakable bonds is one for the ages.